Way up high in the Sierra Peaks, where the yellow pines grow tall, old Sandy Bob and Buster Jig had a roundup camp last fall. They'd taken their horses and their running irons and maybe a dog or two. They load, they'd brand all the long-eared calves that come within their view. And any old doggy that flapped long ears and didn't brush up by day got his long ears whittled and his old hide scorched in a most artistic way. Now one fine day, old Sandy Bob, he throwed his cigar down. I'm sick of the smell of burning hair and I lows I'm a-going to town. So they saddles up and hits 'em a lope, for it weren't no sight of a ride. And them was the days when a buckaroo could oil up his insides. Well, they starts her out at the Kentucky bar at the head of Whiskey Row, and they winds up down by the depot house some 40 drinks below. Then they sets up and turns around and goes her the other way. And to tell you the God-forsaken truth, them boys got stewed that day as they was a-riding back to camp, a-packing a pretty good load. Who should they meet but the devil himself a-prancing down the road? Says he, you ornery cowboy skunks, you'd better hunt your holes, for I've come up from Hell's Rim Rock to gather in your souls. Says Sandy Bob, old devil be damned, we boys is kinda tight, but you ain't gonna gather no cowboy souls without some kind of a fight. So Sandy Bob punched a hole in his rope and he swang it straight and true. He lapped it on to the devil's horns and he'd taken his dallies too. Now Buster Jig was a Rieta man with his gut line coiled up neat, so he shook her out and he built him a loop and he lassoed the devil's hind feet. Oh, they stretched him out and they tailed him down while the irons was a-getting hot. They cropped and swallered, forked his ears and branded him up a lot. They pruned him up with a dehorning saw and they knotted his tail for a joke. Then they rode off and left him there, a neck to a blackjack oak. So if you're ever up high in the Sierra Peaks and you hear one heck of a wail, you'll know it's the devil a-bellering about them knots tied in his tail. In a lonely one-room cabin on a little piece of land he used to own, in an old wooden rocker, a bent and gray-haired cowboy sits alone, with only memories to lean on and a faithful sad-eyed dog to call his friend. He's outlived 100 cowboys and he knows the time is slowly closing in. On a table in the corner lay the buckles that he won so long ago. Now they're tarnished, worn and dusty, but for a lifetime's work they're all he's got to show. He can't admit that he's unhappy or that things ain't been all that he had planned, 'cause in his heart he's still a champion, he's yesterday's rodeo man. But in a puff of smoke from a homemade corncob pipe he sees the highlights of his yesterday, when an eager, strong young cowboy rode the worst of broncs in a smooth and graceful kind of way. And for a moment he no longer feels the aches and pains that age has brought to torture him. In his heart he's still a champion, he's yesterday's rodeo man. There's an old faded picture on the fireplace, and when it meets his eye, a lump comes to his throat. By the flickering of the firelight he cries. The only life he's known once made a lovely dark-haired lady say goodbye. And after 40 years of loneliness, he sits alone and still can't reason why. But in a puff of smoke from a homemade corncob pipe, he sees the highlights of his yesterday. When an eager, strong young cowboy rode the worst of broncs in a smooth and graceful kind of way. And for a moment he no longer feels the aches and pains that age has brought to torture him. In his heart he's still a champion, he's yesterday's rodeo man. In his heart he's